Pete, there's been a long-standing commitment to helping boost women in football journalism. Why?
Because there's been this whole gender equality which was sparked by 50 years of banning women's football, which we don't think was a good thing. And now we're trying to put that right on the field, but also in the press box, because there's still a minority of women in football journalism, and we're trying to sort of put that right, just to redress the gender balance, really. So we thought, well, if we can get a scholarship where girls can come and play football for Derby County, play for the university, come on the course, then they are people that we can showcase. We've had people like Olivia Fox, Lucy Copeland, who have come through and done great things for the course. And then this year, we've got Ella Hilliard and Anna Humphrey, who are really leading the way. The consequence of this for the course is that we have more females on the course. For the university, our football team is getting better and better. And then Ella's playing for the first team regularly now, and also playing for Wales under-19s. So that's really sort of helping lift the profile.
Just tell me about what the course offers, because there are some amazing opportunities on it, aren't there?
The opportunities on the course are fantastic. I mean, it's the only football journalism course in the country, in the world that we know of. We've been running for 6 years, and some of the adventures we've been on have been incredible, whether it's been the sort of big headliners going out to Holland, going out to France twice for World Cups, covering the Women's Euros last summer, down to the week-by-week opportunities of just like covering Team Derby, covering Derby County Women, covering Derby County Under-18s that students can do on a weekly basis. On the course at the moment, this is the best year we've had. We've got 6 girls on the course this year, 2 of them scholars. It's still a minority, so that's sort of about, where are we, about 12%. But that compares with like 2% in the industry. So we like to think we're helping lead the charge.
Ella, so tell me what it's like being a footballer and studying for journalism at the same time here at Derby.
The first 6 months have been really enjoyable. I didn't really know how I was going to go, because I was thinking obviously uni's a lot more, I feel like, work than college, even though I did kind of have the same experience as I'm having now. But I've done really well being able to balance the academic but also the football, especially like doing international duty, just staying on top of work, and not even that, just doing things in advance. So if something's due in 3 weeks' time, getting it done like 2 weeks in advance really helps me, because then when it does come up, I know I've done it, and if football does clash as well, it just all round just really works. And even though I wanted to be a professional footballer, I really enjoy the academic side as well. So I feel like having this opportunity to do my academic but do my football at Derby, and obviously the training's great and etc., and I'm really enjoying the course, I just feel like it's just been a really good experience all round.
Tell me about your journey to get to this point. You sort of mentioned it there, it's not the first time you've combined studying with football, is it?
Yeah, so I was at Cardiff City for 1 season when I was 15, and then I've been playing Wales, so I've been playing football in Wales since I was probably about 9, so I was probably about 16 at the time then. And I just felt like I kind of wanted to push myself. I was thinking, oh, let's look at England. Is there any potential teams I could go to? And then I saw that Bristol City Academy does like a dual career, so I could do education and do my football at the same time. And obviously Bristol's only an hour over the bridge, so that would work out. So I just trialled, and then luckily I got in, and I was able to do my education alongside it. So yeah, it worked out perfectly for me. And that's kind of how I knew I kind of wanted to get into doing sports journalism, and obviously doing football journalism now, because I got that 2 years to kind of see if I'd enjoy it or not.
What was the process of applying and then starting here?
Obviously I still wanted to do my football bit, but I kind of still wanted to do academic as well, so I was kind of just looking how would that work. And then my mum said she was on Twitter, and it popped up on the Derby Uni website saying that they're obviously advertising to do football journalism, but also to play at the women's team. So I was thinking, okay, so great, I get to do academic side of it, but then I also get to do football as well, and that's what I wanted to do. And obviously, having not playing in England before, I think obviously the tier that they're in would be great for me in my development. So I thought this would be a great opportunity. So obviously I applied then, waited to get back, trialled with the women's team, and had a session with the uni team as well, got to meet the coaches, and then yeah, luckily I passed and I was able to get the scholarship.
Tell me in general terms, Mark, about scholarship from your perspective. What does it bring?
I think it brings a level of extra professionalism from the players who come in. Majority of them probably come from a professional background in terms of football, and I think that has a little bit of a pass through to the other players that are already here.
You've had, I think, 5 players this season on the scholarship involved in some way, shape or form. Tell me about them generally.
Yeah, there's one. I think there's 3 that have been here for 2 years now, and then Eleanor and Ella who have come in for this season. Again, going back to the first question, they bring a lot of professionalism. When you're trying to create an elitist environment, they've already experienced that probably at the clubs they've been at before, and it has a nice run through the team. But they're good, honest players, good, honest athletes, want to learn, want to develop, and want to move on in their careers.
What do they bring to the classroom?
Good question. They bring, all of them, real personalities. So Lucy, for example, she works a lot in PR and she does some shoots for Nike and people like that. So she's really helping on the PR side. Eleanor brings a real curiosity. She's always got an extra question. She always wants to bottom things out. Ella, she brings a real humility and a real thoroughness. She's always asking the question to make sure she understands everything fully. How do you make sure that their footballing aspirations and their journalistic and their academic responsibilities are properly balanced? It's difficult for them. They have to be really driven individuals, and thankfully all of these are. If ever there's something happening at the same day, for example, we're speaking now and Ella's got a Wales under-19s camp tomorrow when she's got my class as well. So she came, she gave me notice as soon as she knew, and then we're just setting up a Teams tutorial so I can help her with what we were going to cover tomorrow. What sort of jobs do your female graduates go into generally? Olivia, who was one of the scholars here, she's been working for the EFL Trust. Holly Percival went and got her dream job on The Athletic and then decided she wanted to work for Football Manager, so she went and did that. There's a couple. Molly Jennings went and worked for Livewire, working on the WSL account. Then Ritika Sharma, who was out at the World Cup in Qatar, working for Reuters after working so hard on this course to find her dream job, and to see her reporting at a World Cup was quite something. Where do you see the scholarship growing and going over the next couple of years? It's at such an exciting stage. I mean, with the support of Derby County Football Club, which is moving in the right direction of how they want to grow the game, I can see us having a team at the university of scholars, and that team would be working at an elite level at university. This is what we're aspiring to. It may or may not happen in a couple of years, but that is the direction of travel. I watched a game the other day where we had 5 girls who'd been on the scholarship out there, and the level of skills, the level of professionalism, the ethos that they've been able to share, is just moving everything in a really positive direction. What's the standard like from a footballing perspective with the teams that you play for here?
I'd say the Derby women's, for a young player like me, 18, making that step into the women's environment, it is a really good standard. You know, a lot of the players in this league are older, more experienced, technically better. So it kind of forces the younger players like me to adapt really quickly to that, because, you know, we've been used to be playing people our own age. So when you're up against someone 25, 30, it is a challenge, but you know, the standard I think is for a young player is fantastic. And then obviously for the uni side bit, it's probably a couple levels below. But then I feel like if you put it into a positive, you can think, oh, what things can I work on? And then bring that into women's, bring it into women's level after. So yeah, I think you have to see the positive in both of them.
Sam, first and foremost, tell me about Ella.
Ella, brilliant person, brilliant player. Been an absolute privilege to work with her this season. She's still obviously quite young, developing. Probably one of the most technical players that I've worked with. In possession, she's really good. Strikes the ball really well, passes the ball really well. So yeah, she's just been a privilege to work with this year, and hopefully help her develop even more in the future.
How much do you enjoy working with younger players and that challenge of developing and trying to bring them into the squad?
Yeah, obviously it's been massive this year with obviously what's happened with the club last season and bringing some of our youngsters through. It's been a different challenge for me this year. We've got, I think, an average squad of like 19, which is really young. So yeah, it's nice to be able to help them develop as players, probably more importantly develop as people. So yeah, something I've really enjoyed doing this season.
Ella's been away with Wales as well. Was that any surprise to you, having watched her this season?
No, not at all. Like I say, she's a very, very gifted player. Got a lot of potential. Like I say, she's still only young. So yeah, she can go as far as she wants.
What do you think of the opportunity that she's had here to play football for the university, for you at Derby County Women, but also study and have that look ahead to a potential career?
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I think obviously the women's game's moved on massively. There is more opportunities now to play full time and things like that, but I don't think you can get away from the fact of having that career behind you in case of injuries or not making it at the level that you want to. Don't think there's probably many opportunities in the women's game as there is in the men's if you end up getting injured or whatever. So I think studying and getting a good background and a career behind you is really important. And obviously studying the sports journalism, it keeps her involved in sport as well. So hopefully she'll have a good career ahead of her, whether it be full-time in the game or full-time as a journalist.
And the women train at Moor Farm, of course. What's been your experience? You look excited as soon as I mention it. Yeah,
it's amazing. The facilities are really good. The gym's really good. Just in general, I think it's amazing that they're able to train what the men's do. So I feel like it's obviously very community-based, but I just feel like the whole vibe around the club, it's amazing.
And that's a lot about the playing. What about the studying side of it? What have you covered so far? What have you learned so far? What have you enjoyed?
So for one of my modules, it's to do with digital journalism, so photography. And then one of my other ones is to do with introduction to journalism, so articles, so obviously for one of mine, for example, I had to interview 2 people and then write up a news story piece. That was really enjoyable because for me personally, interviews are probably one of my weak sides, so I was able to work on that. And then other one is match reporting, so going out and reporting on matches. I found that really enjoyable. I think it's probably my favourite so far. But yeah, the 3 of them I found really enjoyable. And I really enjoy learning skills that I haven't learned before that I didn't learn in college. So yeah, so far the experience has been really good.
I imagine you're quite proud of having this scholarship here at Derby.
We definitely want to attract more women into football journalism, into sports journalism, and they play a vital role because sport isn't just about one thing. It sort of reflects issues in society, and it's really important that the diversity of the people who are telling us about the sport is also broad and not male all the time, so we can get a range of perspectives. So we're really happy to have the scholarship, welcome in women from different places, and then get them, to learn about journalism, to learn about the skills on our courses that we have, and also play football as well for those who really wish to play football.
And I guess what we should say is that it enhances the experience for everyone in the classroom if that balance is there, doesn't it?
Definitely. We are focusing quite a lot on how we can learn from one another. So there's a lot for a woman to bring into the classroom, equally as valid as a male student, but also if you think about students from other different backgrounds, from sort of different social class backgrounds, different ethnic minority backgrounds, when we're together in a class, we do learn about the different issues from one another. So peer learning is important, but for a journalist, you can't be a journalist and not understand the world that we inhabit. The world that we inhabit changes regularly, so if we're not preparing students to understand the issues that you're going to face out there on the pitch or out there reporting on the pitch, then we're not doing our job. So any diversity we have in terms of our content that we're teaching, in terms of the people in the classroom, and even our lecturers, it's all really, really important.
But there is understanding, isn't there, from the academic side that they are also aspiring footballers?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, definitely. And I think the academic side on a Wednesday, which is match day, is is limited in terms of the times they're in class, which is good. So the only challenge sometimes really becomes when we've kind of got an away game and we have to leave a little bit early. That hasn't been too much of a challenge. We've had one occasion this year where they were asked to participate in something academic, and to be fair to the university, they gave the players the choice, they gave the athletes a choice, and it was up to them at the end of the day.
I would guess that having players like Ella, like Eleanor here, brings up the level of every session that you're able to put on for the rest of the squad, doesn't it?
It does, absolutely, yes. You know, I along with Alana, the president here, we spoke in the summer about bringing a level of professionalism to the club as quickly as possible this season, having had a season already here. And we wanted to take it to that next level, and having those type of players helps because they're just used to that sort of environment that we're trying to create here. Yeah.
What would you say to someone who is thinking about coming to study at Derby?
We'd say come, have a look. We're definitely sort of quite broad in what we do. So it's not just a practice-based course, because I think sometimes people want aspects of that, but not entirely. So you do get to study things like social media, you get to study podcasting, commentary, but also we're kind of interested in the deeper underlying issues. So one of the modules that we do is critical issues in sport. So we want to look at the gender issues in sport. Where is that representation of women in different areas? Why are women paid less? But it's not just the gender divide, there's also racism. We can't ignore that there's racism in sport, particularly in football. So all of those kind of issues are discussed within the context of our journalism programme to make our journalists and our trainee journalists inquisitive, curious and questioning. Really, really important for would-be journalists.
I'll definitely take it up. Like, even though I've only been here for 6 months, I've really, really enjoyed it. And even as a player, I feel like I've really improved. And just the whole environment and just the way the team is at Derby, I just feel like I haven't experienced what I've experienced in a team like this before. I just feel like there's such a togetherness and just wanting everyone to succeed and just wanting the team to do really well. But then obviously the academic side as well. The lecturers are really good if I'm at training or if I can't come to lectures or if I'm away on international duty, they're really good at supporting me in that way. So I feel like no matter what happens, there's always someone there to look after you or always looking out for you.
Do you feel like they're all proud of you and like really, really happy to have you here?
Yeah, I do get that. I definitely do get that. I definitely get it from Pete probably more than anyone. He's always telling me, oh, it's amazing you're doing this and etc. And even from coaches of Derby, if I'm going away international duty, they all congratulate me and the girls. So yeah, I do feel like I've got this bunch of people that do want the best for me and are proud of what I'm achieving.